French hybrid of baby Zlatan and Freddie Canute, or simply a roided David N'Gog? Just how good is Hugo Ekitike?
Kiela is oh, he's given Radetzky too much to do, and it's a gift for Hugo Ekitike.
From a pure goal-scoring standpoint, let's be real, Ekitike isn't a natural-born killer in front of goal. This is the first real season where we've seen him score goals, and even then it's 15 goals in 30 appearances, so 1 in 2 on paper. But there's no long-standing track record of prolific goal-scoring across his career. Now the numbers are okay. His non-penalty XG this season, 0.49, solid, efficient without really overperforming, generating 0.6 XG per 90. Again, pretty decent for a player who's still developing. But his shots, only 40% are hitting the target. So this raises questions about shooting consistency, technical execution. From the eye test, he's getting into good positions inside the box. He makes good runs. He's hard to track when he drifts off the shoulder. When it comes to execution, doesn't really look fully composed or clinical in high pressure one-on-one situations. Body shape looks off. His finishing technique doesn't really give me the vibe of a clinical Haaland. He's nowhere near Isak's calmness or finesse in front of goal at this moment in time. There is some variety in his finishes. Even on his weaker foot, we've seen that he can dink, he can curl, he can poke it past the keeper. So usually when he gets it right, it's eye-catching. But at the moment, he's not a volume scorer, but someone who could produce great goals. Overall, I'd say he's a chaotic striker, not really a ruthless poacher, but someone who can generate danger through unorthodox routes.
Ekitike angle tight, took on the shot and hits a free
Mark as quickly as he can. Demirovic can't stop him. Oh, it's good stuff again.
When it comes to dribbling strikers, Ekitike is in elite company. He completes 4.71 dribbles per 90. That's close to being winger territory. He's dribbling more frequently than the likes of Isak or Nicholas Jackson, both who are known for their mobility. So ball carrying is a central part of his game. 48% success rate might not scream elite at first glance, but when you factor in how many take-ons he's attempting, the difficulty of the ones that he's attempting is respectable. He's bold, aggressive, fearless on the ball. Physically, he's quite a fascinating player. Long-legged, wiry, oddly graceful. There's a Wembenyama vibe about him. He's tall, elastic, deceptively quick in tight spaces. Shades of young Zlatan, not just in terms of raw power, but the ability to improvise with gangly limbs, chop in multiple directions, and he can slalom past players in weird, unpredictable ways. I'd say overall, probably better off coming from the left side, gliding infield onto his stronger foot, but he's got that loose, dangerous quality, the kind of dribbler who might not always be clean with his touches, but he's always asking questions of defenders. He'll square you up, he'll throw a step over, he'll shimmy with the inside of his foot, he'll slide past with an awkward but effective toe pull. He's brave, he doesn't hide from the ball, he's not shying away from one-on-one duels. Even inside the box, that's where his feet get really quick, and he's the type who can generate half yard inside a crowded box by just shifting the ball. So I'd say he's the type of player you need to double up against. Overall though, I'd say he's still raw, tries too many flicks, overdoes it when a simple pass might be on, can get surrounded and boxed in, but overall high-end dribbling potential, no question.
Collins, Ekitike takes and turns and does well. Ekitike's team, Liverpool really tries to apply, but now they get caught maybe here.
And Mario gets sent to go.
Ekitike might be wearing the number 9 shirt, but defensively he's working like a number 6, clocking in at 3.43 defensive actions per game, outperforming more static forwards like Haaland, Isak, even Seshko, adding a 63% dual success rate, and you're looking at one of the most defensively active and effective strikers in Europe right now. Now, from the eye test, he's a nightmare for centre-backs trying to build out from the back. Tall, rangy, those long limbs seem to wrap around you and nick the ball cleanly. He's constantly sticking his leg in, disrupting rhythm. Not wild, well-timed. He's got that NBA defender type vibe, long reach, sharp reactions, and the willingness to close down hard. And he's not just pressing, he's pressing with purpose, he's reading passing lines, and he's got a knack for intercepting rather than just harrying. It's intelligent pressure. Not shy about tracking deep or wide. You'll even see him at times doubling up on wingers, helping out his fullback, tucking into congest space. He's also going to be useful at defending set pieces due to that height and aerial presence. So in short, he's a defensive asset. Mentality is strong, work rate's high, and is a real tactical weapon when out of possession. Want access to world-class coaching drills developed by the great man himself, Johan Cruyff? Well, Pythagoras in Boots has partnered up with Cruyff Football to deliver you exclusive tactical content. We also feature behind the scenes footage of the recent Cruyff football tournament, which featured the likes of Ajax, Barcelona, the finest youth teams in the world. And next year, we're going to be seeing the likes of PSG and Chelsea joining Man City, Atletico, you name it, they are there. We also have exclusive insights with interviews with the likes of Jordi Cruyff to give you a real feel for that Cruyffian football philosophy. So check the description below for a discount link to the Cruyff football methodology and level up your football IQ.
Are we going to see an 8th goal in this match for Frankfurt? Or possibly a third?
From a creative perspective, Ekitike is quietly impressive and at times genuinely high level. Not your traditional number 10. I wouldn't say he's a Harry Kane, but he does offer value as a playmaker from the front, particularly when he drifts out wide or drops deeper into pockets, but even inside the box as well. Now, what really stands out is his outside of the foot passing. Precise, line-breaking balls, a bit of a Trivela master. There's a lot of disguised technique. He can spot runners in their stride. And when teammates make third-man movements behind him, he can really play them in. And there's a real elegance to these passes. But it's not all about flair and Trivelas. Creativity also shines through in terms of simple but smart link-up inside the box. First-time layoffs, delicate touches. It's efficient. It's not overcomplicated. And he's really good at using these cushioned inside the box, disguised flicks into runners' path. Overall, it's his outside of the foot passing, which is genuinely elite. Bends the ball into channels with ease, generates angles that most forwards wouldn't even be able to dream of. So overall, I'd say he's a serious asset in terms of his link-up play. We've analysed the game at the highest level, and now we want to represent the people that play it. Pythagoras and Boots are now officially FIFA qualified football agents, and now we're partnering up with Dave Lawrence, a former sporting director and female first team ladies coach at West Bromwich Albion with over 20 years of coaching experience. He's also been an agent for the past 5 years, a UEFA licensed coach as well. So together we're looking to provide expert player performance analysis, legal support with my legal background, mental well-being, anything that you need on or off the pitch, we can holistically deliver it. So don't be afraid to check the description, get in contact with us to see what next-gen player management really looks like.
With the corner and a bullet header. Yes, of course, Hugo Ekitike.
From an aerial perspective, Ekitike clearly ticks the box physically. 6'3", he's not just tall for nothing. He competes in 4.31 aerial duels per 90, winning 40%. So comfortably ahead of someone like Isak and Jackson in the air. So while he's not a dominant aerial threat, the foundation is there. His aerial goal threat sits at just 0.05 per 90, which is underwhelming. But what catches the eye is the timing of his runs. He'll drift through the far post, he'll sneak in on the blind side, and he genuinely attacks the ball rather than waiting for it. So that kind of intent is pretty much half the battle won. Technically, he's okay in the air, not always clean with his connection. He can get under the ball and mistime his headers under pressure. He can fluff basic chances, but he does compete even in crowded boxes. So that tells you that this is a player who's not afraid to mix it. Even if there's 2 players ahead of him, he will look to compete and outjump both of them. Overall, raw, ironing out the technical side, but with that frame, with that mobility, that willingness to engage physically, I think there's potential here to mold a genuine aerial weapon. Mentality, reps, timing, get these right, and you've got yourself a problem for centre backs.
Yeah, and that must be frustrating, of course, for Victor Boniface. I mean, well, this looks promising for Frankfurt.
Long passing isn't a major feature of Ekitike's game, and understandably so. He's a centre forward. Still, with 63% long pass accuracy, I think that's a decent level of execution for a forward. And overall, I'd say his technical competence is decent. What stands out is that he's a naturally clean striker of the ball when it comes to long passes, more so than his finishing at times. Capable of executing switches of play with either foot. Sometimes his first-time long passes also show good composure and balance. You'll see him dropping deep, spotting runs early, and firing that ball into space. And often the idea is good. The execution, in terms of vertical passes, needs a bit more development. These can be underhit, lacking in weight, but the vision is there. In terms of switching the play, particularly from right to left, the ball striking is usually clean. Even on his weaker left foot, there's moments when he can spread the play confidently. So overall, there's promising flashes. He's technically decent, 2-footed, has the vision to see runners early, but what's missing is consistent execution.
Ekitike looking for Gina Rabimbe once more. This one, though, is too high.
Like a few German sides, Frankfurt like to play in a 3-4-2-1, and as we can see, Ekitike likes to play in front of the 2 inside forwards as a number 9. In terms of what Ekitike looks to bring to the side, especially in terms of the low block situation, he links up well with midfielders, good link-up play, he'll drop a bit deep, dragging the centre-backs with him, and then what he's looking to do with that ball is spin hit that centre-back, get one-on-one with the keeper, and if he does take on the keeper, he can go around the keeper and put it in the back of the net with his weaker foot. So Ekitike is someone who can open up low blocks by himself. Alternatively, Ekitike, when that ball is played into him, first touch flick pass into the inside forwards who can then join in with that ball, go in and go for goal themselves. So Ekitike is a player who can go it alone, but he's also selfless. He's someone that will bring in others into play too. As with most back five teams, though, it's in transition where Ekitike really comes alive. Let's just say the left centre-backs picked up the ball there. Ekitike will drift that from this number 9 slot into wide channel areas. And once that ball's played into Ekitike, he's that type of player who will start striding past into space, leaving these centre-backs for dead. And next thing you know, he's running through on goal. And he's that type of player, again, with that pace, with that power, he is not afraid in 1v1 situations. So he's lethal in these situations. And that makes him a really strong threat. Someone that even though his whole team might be in their own half, he's that type of player who can go it alone and turn defense into attack in an instant. Now, Ekitike has been linked to a move to the Premier League. Now, I'm just going to take a look at Chelsea and Liverpool as examples as to what he would bring to these teams from a tactical perspective. And we're just going to start off with Chelsea. Now, let's just imagine they're facing a low block. Does he bring a superior goal threat to a Nicholas Jackson? Now, I think if he, let's just say Madueke goes down the wing, puts that ball in, I think Ekitike is more likely to compete in the air and be effective than a Nicholas Jackson. So I think in that sense, he does bring a superior goal threat. And I think in terms of projected potential, I can see Ekitike getting better in the air. Whereas a Nicholas Jackson, for me, gives the vibe of a player who's always going to be a bit clumsy in front of goal. I think Ekitike has definitely got a higher ceiling in that respect. Nevertheless, he can fluff easy chances. And so he's not super prolific. And like I said, he hasn't got a track record. So, overall, I'd say, yes, there's a marginal upgrade to Nicholas Jackson in the here and now, but you're still getting an inexperienced striker against low blocks. In transition, we know that Ekitike is a running threat. So if he does run down the channels, if that ball is played into him, he's that type of player who's going to replicate what Nicholas Jackson brings to Chelsea. But in the Premier League, there's going to be more powerful physical defenders, more organized defenses. So is he going to have that same effect in terms of his running power as a Nicholas Jackson? I think, if there is an upgrade, it'll be very, very marginal. And Nicholas Jackson is a proven runner in the Premier League. So in that sense, I'm not sure if transitionally he brings a bigger threat to Nicholas Jackson. Perhaps in terms of his IQ, he'll be superior to Nicholas Jackson, who makes all the runs, breaks open the defenses, and then fluffs the finish. So in that sense, I think Ekitike will be superior, but athletically, there are question marks as to whether he's superior to a Jackson. From a Liverpool perspective, if they bring in players like Wirtz, who can control this final third much more than, say, a Szoboszlai, if, let's just say, he's used as a number 10 in a 4-2-3-1 rather than a false 9, and they do want to bring in a striker. So Wirtz as a number 10 will definitely bring more control in that final third than Szoboszlai. And Ekitike, if he was to come in as a signing as a new number 9, would bring in far superior hold-up play than a Jota or a Darwin Núñez. And that would radically transform the way Liverpool approach low block situations, because suddenly they'd be able to keep that ball a lot better. McAllister, Wirtz, Gravenberch, that midfield can keep that ball a lot better. And then suddenly the fullbacks can get into position better. All the attacking play will be a lot more controlled and transformed. And then that means, let's just say that ball does come into an Ekitike against a low block. He's got the aerial ability to put that ball into the back of the net. Furthermore, in terms of link-up play, you can just imagine if a Wirtz was to have the ball and link up with an Ekitike, he can not only spin, but he can then play that ball back into a Wirtz. And that link-up play between an Ekitike and a Wirtz would potentially be so goddamn sexy. So Liverpool, if they were to bring Ekitike in as a number 9 to link up with the Wirtz, and you've got Salah running in behind, my gosh, that would be a phenomenal looking attack for Liverpool. In conclusion, Ekitike is the type of tactical profile that a lot of big clubs will find valuable. He's someone who's comfortable in transition. He's someone who's got the footwork to unlock tight defensive blocks. But the big issue is his ball striking. I think at the moment, it doesn't really impress me enough to say he's going to be a surefire hit at the highest level, but there's undoubted potential. At 6'3", he's someone who brings link-up play, he brings vision, he brings footwork. He's got a skill level that's beyond, say, a Gyökeres type of striker. He's more aligned with someone like Isak, more all-round profiles as strikers. But ultimately, at £85 million, he's still a gamble, because at that price tag, you want someone who's the full, complete package, someone that's going to deliver 100%. And I can't really say for sure whether he's going to be able to do that. But in terms of as an investment player, there's so much potential there to work with. He can do a bit of everything as a striker. So anyway, let me know what you think of him as a player. Please like, share, and subscribe, and see you guys again next time. Bye.
Spare for Guardiola, joy for Mourinho.